What's going on, guys? It's Tetrosphere, and we are jumping into the last round that I have footage for from the 3v3 case tournament at GalaxyBusterTCG. On the left here, we do have who appears to be Other Chris, and on the right, we have my man Alex Stoddard. Now, of course, as we all know, we do have the question of the day, which today I am just wondering if you guys play any other card games. I ask because I played a pod of Commander, Magic the Gathering Commander last night, and I had a really nice time with it. I played it once back in college as well, but YuGiOh has just kind of been my main squeeze, so... But, you know, it's fun to break up the monotony a little bit and just play something else. I'm just curious what you guys like to do as far as card games. Do you strictly just play YuGiOh, or do you play other things? With that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump on into the match. We do have, looked like someone rolled a 12 there, and then our other boy rolled a 10. So 12, of course, is going to get it, and let's head on into the match. We got Juan adjusting the camera here. Let's go ahead and see how we get started. We do have the normal summon of Cupsy from Alex Stoddard. Easily the best start you could possibly ask for if I had to hazard a guess. Searching, surprise, and then on resolution we do go ahead and activate the effect of Moltremi Fualos on the side of Other Chris here. We decide to ash it. So we're not going to be, we decided that it's worth it to just go ahead and play a little harder. Set up a more oppressive board instead of having the Ash Blossom to back up the board that we make. So with that in mind, we go ahead and go for the typical Mignon line, linking off into Snatchy, placing Mignon, and then reviving Cupsy with the effect. Go ahead and Synchro Summon Cupsy Yummy Way to search 2, discard 1 for the follow-up there. Grabbing Marshmallow and Cookie. Thinking on discard. Oh, I saw Called by the Grave as well, so we could have even used that to negate the Fualos. We decided to go with Ash instead. Of course, valuing the Graveyard Interruption that a set Called by the Grave offers. As well, the Called by the Grave can negate another hand trap, something like, you know, a Ghost Ogre or whatever that Ash Blossom couldn't negate. Alright, it looks like we discard Futsu, and then we special summon Marshmallow. Link off the Cupsy Yummy Way into a Snatchy, and then Synchro with the Snatchy and the Marshmallow. Or perhaps a Link too. It is a Synchro, though. We're going for the Lollipo Yummy Way, which is going to revive 2 on summon. Coming back is Cupsy Yummy Way and Marshmallow, which then is going to link 3 into the... oh, I forget this Synchro monster's name, but I believe she is somehow a facilitator for recycling the Herald that you link off. Which we do make Herald and link it off for Gravity Controller. Just to get Herald in the grave, so that way we can search a ritual monster, which we do grab Habakiri. Or we're not grabbing Habakiri. Getting some input from our teammate here on what we should actually be searching, which we end up deciding to just go with the Habakiri anyway. Checking that our opponent has 4 cards in hand, and we reveal Habakiri, activate the effect to summon. We're going to summon Saji, tribute Saji. Saji's going to go ahead and search a Mitsurugi spell card, grabbing, of course, our ritual spell. Okay, it looks like we're going to tribute Gravity Controller instead of Saji. Regardless, we are able to trigger Saji because its effect is also on summon, grabbing Ritual. And then we Ritual Summon to summon, or activate Mitsurugi Ritual to summon from hand, tributing Kusanagi and Aramasa from deck. Habakiri hits the field. Kusanagi and Aramasa are going to tribute here, adding Mitsurugi Ritual back from grave to hand. And then Aramasa is going to search a Mitsurugi monster. We're just going to grab another Habakiri. This makes sense because it's going to allow us to have that resource in hand for when we tribute off the Habakiri to summon Murakumo from deck. Habakiri is then going to revive itself and, of course, search any Mitsurugi card. We grab Mitsurugi Mirror. This is an interesting ritual card because, of course, it is what allows us to tutor Mitsurugi cards with pre-preparation of rites, but also it can perform a proper ritual summon from grave, which we do this. We tribute the Murakumo from grave to summon the Futsu that we earlier discarded off the effect of Cupsy Yumiway, and now Murakumo is going to revive itself and search prayers. This is a really complex board state because we have access to, obviously, tons of link options, but also rank 8s. You know, this is definitely a situation where you could see something like a Dynamondo hitting the board, and that might be what we're considering linking off the Saji and the Habakiri into. Or it could even be an IP Masquerena. It is IP in this scenario. We also have the Lollipo Yumiway over there on the 5th monster zone, which is what allows us to special summon Cookie from hand, inherently, and then we can link that off into a Snatchy. And we're going to have some cards to set here, because if I'm not mistaken, we have Prayers, Surprise, and Called by the Grave that we can place in the back row to really layer up these interactions, which we do go ahead and do exactly that. Plus 1 or 2 cards in hand there, it looks like 2, so possibly some hand traps to back this up as well. When it looks like we're not going to link off the Snatchy, we're going to keep it as a Cookie instead. We're going to use that Synchro 3 to recycle the Herald. And then we're going to Synchro summon the Herald back that we recycled, as opposed to ending on a Snatchy. Alright, so on that, we do go ahead and pass turn over to Other Chris, who goes first action Super Poly, discarding a trap that I am absolutely not familiar with. Looks like we fused off the Cupsy, or the Lollipo Yumiway and the Herald into a Mud Dragon. And it seems like we're attempting the Mud Dragon effect, calling some attribute. We allow it to not resolve because the Murakumo was chained to force a discard, and then we go 1 for 1. Okay, so we're playing D on the side of Other Chris here, which is going to be a commentary nightmare for me because I do not know what any of these cards do, and I'm going to be completely frank with you guys. I do not have much interest in trying to figure out exactly what cards are being activated, for the simple fact of all of them have like very similar names. They're very hard to search for, especially in the moment like this. Like, this isn't like a dueling book replay where I can like pause, and I mean, I can pause, but like just because of like the setup of this, I have to like pause, try to find the card that matches what's being played. I don't even have like a hint of what that card there's name is. Yeah, so this is just going to be a commentary nightmare. So I do apologize in advance, but I'm not going to have very great insight into what exactly is going on the side of Other Chris here. But we do go ahead and link off the IP Masquerena into SP to banish that Dark Contract. And then we activate Prayers, tributing the Murakumo. Murakumo is going to blow the board up, and we scale something. Nothing left in hand for Other Chris, so this Pendulum Scale is our, final push. Let's see if that's going to be enough. We do activate its Pendulum effect, whatever that may be. And we do activate Surprise in response to revive the Lollipo. And we do allow the Pendulum effect to resolve with success. It does give us access to our deck in some fashion. And we have Ghost Bell to respond to whatever that was trying to do, so that's simply going to get negated. And on that note, we do decide to just pick our cards up and go to game 2. And I'm about to have not a lot to say about what's going to happen on Other Chris's part. So as much as I hate to say it, Other Chris, generally I root for you, but I kind of hope you just get hand trapped to death here and that you don't get to play because, I mean, just from my perspective as a commentator, this is awful. This is just an absolute disaster for me. We normal summon or special summon, I don't know, something, and then we activate its effect to do something to change the game state that we're in. Looks like it allows us to get into our deck, and it was not responded to. So we have so a foolish whatever the hell that is, and now we're gonna scale that guy, and it looks like it has some pendulum effect to summon itself from scale. And now we're going to activate Molchami Fualos on resolution because obviously Alex must be aware that this threatens some kind of summon. And now that we have resolved or have not responded to the first Fua, we do decide to activate the second one, and we overlay for that thing. And we do have Joel and Lockbird to prevent the Fua from going too crazy, but it was essentially a double upstart. That Xyz monster that we summoned is overlaid into another Xyz monster. And now we have another DDD Pendulum monster to scale, and then that is going to place some continuous spell from the deck. And it has some effect to destroy itself, it seems, and do something else. And the other thing it does is apparently special summon that guy, which we do link off into what must be a Link 2, and we do have what appeared to be a graveyard trigger plus an on-summon trigger from the Link 2 monster that was summoned by those two monsters whose names I don't know. And it seems like what this has done is it has placed the other guy from scale and then sent, I do believe that is some kind of slime monster, from deck to grave. Alright, by some way, shape, or form, it looks like we're attempting to summon that guy from Face Up Extra Deck. My guess is that this is a pendulum summon. We now are able to extend into a Link 3 D2D, and it has some effect, and it looks like also those continuous spells have some effect. And now we're also banishing that slime and that Link 2 to do something. Looks like probably a fusion summon. Oh no, it's a synchro from grave somehow, or special summon. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what's happening. That guy is doing something now and also is summoning to the field by some effect. And now it looks like we have, like, those were either 4 triggers, or we were just telling Alex what effects we activated to accomplish this. Now we have a fusion summon being performed. Looks like it's those two being used as the material. That guy comes back to the field by some effect. That Link monster seems to blow up the scale to do something, accomplish some task. Oh, I think it may. I do think that there's an extra pendulum summon mechanic in this deck at some point. Like, you get 2 pendulum summons. So that might have been what we just witnessed. That looks like another pendulum summon. 2 pendulum monsters were summoned to zones that a Link monster points to. So that is that's downright logical. Looks like we're going for a Link 2. Oh nope, another synchro summon. Okay, and now we're gonna overlay for that looks like Caesar. It's kind of dark. It's hard to tell, but it looks like Wave King Caesar. And now we have that other guy who is apparently able to overlay itself onto a Link monster, and on this we pass turn, so I am, other than the Caesar, I am completely unaware of what interactions we have available. We activate Dark Ruler no more, and we respond with that trap whose effect and nature I am completely unaware of. I don't know if it negated the Dark Ruler or not. It must have, because we attempt a second Dark Ruler, and that appears to resolve. Okay, so now following up with cards whose nature and effect I understand, we activate Mitsurugi Ritual, tributing the Habakiri to summon from deck. And we do summon the Murakumo, and we attempt Habakiri to search because it was tributed, and Murakumo to destroy all monsters the opponent controls. We're discussing some effects that the monster must have when it's face up in the pendulum zone that is perhaps meant to discourage Alex from blowing the field up. I don't know, but this seems to be regarding the Murakumo effect is the sign I'm getting from the body language here. Alright, so we search prayers with Habakiri, and we do resolve the Murakumo, so things are being destroyed. And other Chris did point to his graveyard, so it's possible we have some grave trigger here. I'm unaware of any cards in hand on the side of other Chris, so a Murakumo chain might be pretty powerful here, but it seems like we don't do that. And it looks like we either are searching or placing a Dark Contract. And then that effect that was being discussed prior from the face-up extra deck is being activated, which seemed to destroy the Murakumo. And also summoned the Link monster somehow. Guys, I really don't know. I really just don't know. I have no clue. I wish I knew. I really do. But I don't. I mean, he could be cheating. I don't know. I'm just hoping that Stoddard gives him a quick defeat here, so that way I can move on with my life and not have to talk about this deck whose game plan I have zero understanding of. Looks like we go ahead and activate prayers, take 100 damage to summon Murakumo. We're going to enter the battle phase, it seems, and we're going to swing over that Link 3 monster. Okay, this is not very promising, and it seemed like we passed it back. This is not what I wanted to see. Oh, okay, no, we just left battle phase. We're going to main phase 2, and we activate Habakiri. So I'm guessing we needed to beat over that Link 3 because it must have had some effect that would prevent Habakiri. We're considering going for Kusanagi to just recover the ritual instead of the Saji to search. We tribute Murakumo instead of Kusanagi because, of course, Murakumo has not used its effect yet to search and then summon itself back. So Ritual comes back, Murakumo comes back to the field, and we'll conduct a search. We need to search a card with Murakumo there because the search is mandatory. If it can't search, it can't summon itself. So it needs to add a card from deck to hand. Or maybe he did add one and I didn't catch it, but I don't think I saw him add one. Just for you watching to be aware that this on all the Mitsurugi ritual monsters effect to revive themselves, the search is the mandatory portion. If the summon's optional, but if you don't search, you cannot summon. Alright, we activate Ritual, tributing the Murakumo to summon from deck. Okay, never mind, we're summoning from hand, tributing from deck. Or... okay, no, I understand what happened. Now, we tributed Kusanagi instead. And then... with the Murakumo still on field, we tributed it from field to summon Habakiri from hand, so it would revive itself and then search prayers, and now we have 2 8s on the board. And it looked like we were considering an overlay for a zombie vampire, but decided against it. We're going to go ahead and link into Dynamondo instead, which on summon can shuffle back the Habakiri and that guy. Or the trap, or whatever else we want. I believe it can shuffle back any card, even a face-down card. Alright, and it looks like we do decide to shuffle back the trap instead. Alright, just refreshing that Dark Contract is what was searched this turn. And I did see a Joel and Lockbird in hand. Not sure what else he has. I think he has a Prayers he could set. So that's also an option. Or another layer to the end board. It seems also that we have not normal summoned. So it's possible we're considering normal summoning that Joel to link off into an SP Little Knight. We do that. We banish that that continuous spell. And we pass turn with the prayer set. Other Chris draws for turn, considers his options. He does have pen scales. He has that pendulum monster on the field, and he has drawn into another pendulum monster. So it is possible that he has ways to push pretty aggressively here. Now, he does need to link that pendulum monster off, though, because he can only pendulum summon from the extra deck to the EMZ or to an arrow. So it looks like we normal summon, I think, that guy. And then we link that off into a Link 2. And it looks like we activated that effect of that pendulum monster to revive that Synchro monster. And in response, it looked like we were chaining SP targeting itself and the other Link 2. And then we activate Prayers to summon Murakumo. Now that the chain has resolved, we do activate Murakumo on summon to blow up the board. We do have a clear EMZ though, so now we are at least able to pendulum summon to that EMZ if we so desire. We activate the Dark Contract though. Seems like we must be clarifying some sort of complex board state. But regardless, with that contract, we add some monster. Okay, so by some mechanism, we're sending the contract to grave and summoning that guy from hand, and then we're going to go ahead and link away, or overlay, sorry, into that rank 4 guy. We're going to detach to do something. We're looking at our opponent's graveyard, so it must be some kind of graveyard interaction. Okay, so it seems like we're able to add back to hand and then rescale that pendulum monster, so that might have been what that effect was. And now we're able to place the trap once again. We Xyz summon over that guy. Looks like this is either some kind of grave recursion or a fusion by banishing. Okay, so that monster hits the field. And it looks like we enter the battle phase, swing into the Murakumo. Do some damage and proceed to end phase. We'll go ahead and resolve SP Little Knight. And let's see if Alex is able to top deck something beneficial. Looks like we do get the Marshmallow, so... I mean, there's definitely something to that. We do have the ability now to link into the Snatchy and Snatchy effect to place. We pointed at the trap card, so that must have some kind of way to interact. But Mignon does get placed, so it's not being negated. In fact, I don't really see it doing anything, so... Who knows? I don't know. I do not know. I was really hoping that other Chris would play a deck I understood, or that anyone understood, like Yummy. Or just like anything. Banquistol. Something else. A different deck. That's what DOOD stands for, different deck. It's telling you what you should be playing. And Alex decides to just scoop. So, we do, unfortunately, if you're rooting for me, go into a game 3, but fortunately, if you're rooting for me, Alex will be going first, which A, means I actually have something to talk about, and B, means that it's possible that other Chris will once again not be able to play the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I won't have to fumble my way through whatever the hell his deck is doing. We're going to go ahead and go first action ritual. Looks like we're summoning from hand, tributing from deck. So we did open the Murakumo, which means it could be a situation where Kusanagi and Night Sword Serpent come down, or Kusanagi Aramasa. That is exactly what it is. Once again, Kusanagi and Aramasa hit the grave. Kusanagi is going to put that ritual back, and Aramasa is going to search any Mitsurugi monster. Saji being added by Kusanagi, interesting, as opposed to the Habakiri, so perhaps we've already drawn into that. Or perhaps we're valuing a rank 4 play. But let's see what we have in mind. Do we have Joel and Lockbird on the side of other Chris's? Truly the question. Seems we do not, so we're going to go ahead and activate Ritual. This time it would be to summon from deck, tributing Habakiri from hand. And we do summon Futsu. Now Habakiri is going to trigger Searching Prayers. Okay, and I see pre-prep in the hand as well. So we have Saji, pre-prep, prayers, and I think I don't know the other card. I do not know at all what other Chris has in hand. So we go ahead, normal Saji. Saji effect to search. This is not met with any interaction. And we grab Great Purification. Okay, so we are playing the trap here. Overlay for Zombie Vampire. Zombie Vampire is going to detach to mill 4, but we're gonna Ghost Spell that, which is doable because it includes an effect that would special summon a monster from the grave. Now we have Talent as well, another Super Poly, and 3 engine pieces. Let's see what we decide to shuffle back. It's possible we don't shuffle back the Super Poly, because now that we know it's there, we could potentially play around it. However, I think basically, if we didn't draw any Yummy access, basically everything is going to be dark. So if that's the case, I'm pretty sure now that we know the last card was Talent, I think we don't have Yummy access. So playing around Super Poly is likely impossible. On the other hand, Super Poly requires a discard, which our boy on the left is only going to be drawing into 4 cards, which means Super Poly is going to take him down to 2 cards in hand, plus the body he Super Poly's into. But without access to the Yummy cards, the board you're able to put up might not be quite as resilient to Super Poly, so we do ultimately decide to shuffle that back. Alright, so now we have the option of making like an IP Masquerena with these 2 bodies if we want. I don't know. We normal summon the Saji, so we don't have normal summon available. Pre-prep doesn't really get us... Well, we could pre-prep for Mirror and then revive Murakumo without using our prayers. If we have the Tribute in hand, which that I'm not aware of. I think the hand now is pre-prep, Great Purification, and prayers. So it's possible we just make IP here and set prayers. And Great Purification, of course. Oh, I'm yapping, of course. Pre-prep also grabs the material, so we can still summon from grave without using our prayers. Alright, so we activate Mirror, tribute the Habakiri that we just added to our hand, summon Murakumo from grave, setting prayers and Great Purification. So Other Chris does have the upside of, I believe he knows all of these cards. I'm pretty sure both prayers and Great Purification were searched. So we go ahead and activate the old Dark Contract. Doesn't seem like we responded in any fashion, or at least if we do, it's still being thought of. And we discard Necro Slime, or something Slime. I think it's Necro Slime. This might have been Murakumo was chained to the Dark Contract. Low power. Okay. Yeah, this is not going on the resume one. We're gonna never talk about this one again. Still resolving the Dark Contract. Seems like we're thinking about what exactly we want to add. If it helps, I also have no idea what you should add off this, so no judgment here. And it looks like we grabbed that thing. We do summon that thing that we just searched and probably activate the effect of it. If it has an effect. Which if it does, I'm completely unaware of if it does or what its effect would be. It must have some effect because we're reading it. And considering a response. Looking at our extra deck. Putting the extra deck back down. Guys, I don't know. I just don't know. Looks like we activated Great Purification to negate whatever the hell that guy was trying to do. And we tributed Murakumo, revived Murakumo, and searched prayers. We have that continuous spell now, which is maybe going to do something. We activate IP, link off the Murakumo and the IP Masquerena into SP, which I'm guessing is going to banish that spell that we just activated. We have one card left in hand, and we do still have prayers to force, or not force, but to employ the Raigeki-like effect of Murakumo. Thank God. Okay, we surrender. That's over. Yeah, Juan, thank you. It's over. It's over. We made it. We made it. That's the last footage I have of the tournament. I don't know what happened with the finals. I'm not going to speculate. It's not important. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you to the players for playing. Thank you to the store for storing. Can't wait for the next case tournament, at which point I hope DDD is unplayable. Peace.